saying that this is all the reason, but True T has really done an amazing thing for Miss Black Titanic, and I appreciate that. And it's always good to see creators supporting other creators. But child, y'all go over there and listen to this, cause this right.
Maurice Scott's relationship with his wife, Kimmi, has captivated many fans since their time on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Initially, they were the couple that seemed to have it all figured out. Their bond appeared strong, with Maurice often portraying the role of a career-driven, family-first husband. Kimmi, on the other hand, was the rock, the supportive, strong woman who held the household together, co-parented with grace, and was always there for Maurice in both his personal and professional life. But as time went on, cracks began to show in their marriage. Maurice, while busy chasing his career goals, often seemed emotionally distant, leaving Kimmi to carry most of the emotional and mental load. Fans started to notice the imbalance. Kimmi, who had always been the one to show up for everyone, was now facing health challenges, namely her breast cancer diagnosis, and yet she still found herself carrying the emotional weight of the marriage, alone. It was clear that something was wrong. Maurice, despite being a supportive figure in public, seemed detached when Kimmi needed him most. The audience saw the growing distance, especially when Kimmi began facing serious health struggles. She had to deal not only with the physical toll of cancer treatments, but also the emotional weight of feeling alone in her marriage. At a time when many expected Maurice to be by her side, showing support and understanding, he remained absent in many ways. His attempts to provide comfort were often through logic, not empathy, and Kimmi, understandably, began to retreat emotionally. Kimmi, who had always been vocal about supporting Maurice through his challenges, now found herself in the painful position of feeling ignored and unseen. As she dealt with her diagnosis and the grueling effects of chemotherapy, Maurice's public persona remained focused on his career. His social media posts were all about real estate ventures and motivational speaking gigs, but there was hardly a mention of Kimmi or her health journey. This silence spoke volumes to fans who had watched Kimmi support Maurice through every high and low in his life. As the distance between them grew, Kimmi's actions became telling. She stopped wearing her wedding ring, and fans quickly noticed the absence of posts that once celebrated their anniversaries or special moments. It seemed as though Kimmi had quietly stepped away, and this only raised more questions among viewers. Was she truly going through this difficult time alone? It appeared so. Maurice, on the other hand, began to feel the impact of his emotional neglect. When Kimmi started distancing herself, Maurice's efforts to reconnect became more desperate. He flooded her with late-night calls, long text messages, and unannounced visits to her home. At first, it seemed like a simple plea for reconciliation, but as time went on, his actions began to take on a more frantic tone. He reportedly contacted friends and family members, asking them to intervene and encourage Kimmi to talk to him. Yet despite his repeated efforts, Kimmi remained resolute in her decision to set boundaries. Then, the unexpected happened. A voicemail from Maurice surfaced, and it quickly spread across gossip blogs. The voicemail painted a picture of a man who was emotionally raw, broken, and pleading for Kimmi's forgiveness. His voice, shaky and filled with regret, echoed with the words, "I know I didn't show up the way you needed, but I never stopped loving you." It was a stark contrast to the detached figure many fans had seen on television. Maurice, in that moment, was not the confident husband. He was a man broken by the realization of what he had lost. Despite the vulnerability in his message, some fans were skeptical. Was Maurice truly remorseful, or was he simply trying to salvage his public image? Many pointed out that it was hard to take his emotional pleas seriously when he had remained silent during Kimmi's most challenging time, her battle with cancer. They couldn't help but wonder if this was all just a form of damage control, a man desperate to win back his wife after being exposed for not supporting her when it mattered most. Shortly after the voicemail incident, Maurice went live on Instagram, visibly shaken and emotional. He admitted that he didn't know how to communicate emotionally.
Owes my family an apology. More so because a lot of times he'll have this perspective of it was a joke or I was trying to be funny and it did not land.
And that watching Kimmi pull away had made him realize how much she had carried the weight of their marriage. He spoke candidly about the mistakes he had made, acknowledging that he didn't deserve Kimmi's grace or the silence she had given him. It was a powerful moment, one that showed a man grappling with the consequences of his actions. But then came the unexpected. Maurice pulled out a handwritten letter and a ring, revealing to the audience his plans to try to fix their broken marriage. The letter contained heartfelt apologies, and one particular line struck a chord with fans. "I thought being strong meant holding it together, but maybe real strength is saying I was wrong before you leave." Maurice also revealed that he had purchased a new ring for Kimmi, not as a proposal, but as a symbol of starting fresh, free from the weight of past mistakes. The live video ended with Maurice making an extreme offer. He would quit love and marriage Huntsville altogether if it meant that he could save his marriage. He claimed that he would trade the public life for peace with Kimmi, showing just how far he was willing to go to repair their relationship. But while Maurice's actions seemed to signal a deep sense of regret, Kimmi remained silent. She did not respond to his public displays of emotion, and her only statement came in the form of a simple Instagram story. In the post, Kimmi shared a picture of a cup of tea with the words, "Peace feels different when you earn it." It was a quiet message, but one that spoke volumes. Kimmi had clearly reached a point where peace was more important than anything else. A few days later, Kimmi was spotted having lunch with Maurice at a low-key restaurant, sparking rumors of a possible reconciliation. But just when fans began to feel optimistic about their future, a woman named Shayla came forward with a bombshell of her own. Shayla, an alleged mistress, shared screenshots of text messages and voice notes that painted a different picture of Maurice's actions during the turmoil in his marriage. The messages revealed that while Maurice was professing his love for Kimmi publicly, he was allegedly carrying on an affair with Shayla behind her back. One message reportedly showed Maurice telling Shayla how difficult things were at home, and how he was stuck between the woman I love and a life I'm not ready to leave behind. The voice note was even more damning, with Maurice allegedly laughing and talking about a recent getaway he had taken with Shayla. Shayla claimed that her motivation for coming forward was simple. She wanted to expose the truth behind Maurice's public persona. She accused him of playing the victim and using his emotional struggles to manipulate the situation. The timing of her allegations was particularly troubling, as they contradicted Maurice's public apologies and romantic gestures toward Kimmi. While Maurice was telling the world how much he loved his wife and wanted to fix their marriage, he was allegedly continuing to carry on a full-blown affair. Maurice, of course, denied the claims, calling them false and inaccurate. His PR team quickly released a statement describing Shayla as a bitter person seeking attention. Maurice himself took to Instagram to address the situation, labeling it as unfortunate but denying any wrongdoing. He emphasized his love for Kimmi, stating that he was focused on healing and hoped they could work through their issues privately. However, Shayla didn't just make vague accusations. She came with receipts. She posted social media stories where she was seen with Maurice at various times, providing evidence that contradicted his claims of focusing solely on his marriage. This added more fuel to the fire, and fans were left wondering if Maurice was truly remorseful for his actions, or if he was simply trying to salvage his reputation after being caught. Meanwhile, Kimmi continued to remain silent. She didn't defend Maurice, but she didn't directly attack him either. Her silence, however, spoke volumes. Sources close to her suggested that she had emotionally checked out of the marriage and that her silence was a sign that she was done trying to fix a relationship where she had been emotionally neglected for so long. As the situation unfolded, the big question remained.